played that painstakingly slow round where they almost lose on time. They plant with like 10 seconds left.
Oh, yeah.
And it's surrounding that Cloud goes go, go, go.
Yeah, well, let's not live in the past because we're heading to Haven. This is going to be the decider. And again, GX have such a old school way of interpreting this map, and it works for them.
Yeah, it absolutely does. And I think matching up against Sentinels that have started incorporating the Viper that's getting a little bit more popular, at least in Americas, what this game is going to be to me is all about A main control. Usually Breach as an agent and with the Neon 2, you can dominate the fight over that space. But the Viper wall that typically you're going to be seeing John QT put down is going to be that one that slices through a lobby. And I think there's going to be a big test whether or not Giant X can prove that they can force out Sentinels from that space early on. Otherwise, it gives Sentinels so much control over the map.
I think on the other side of the map, you'll expect Giant X to take control of C long a lot. Yinso, I think you were the one who were mentioning it. They're very comfortable with the flash dash, or the slide, I guess.
Yes.
But that idea of establishing control early on, very similar to what we saw in Sunset. The thing about Haven, though, is that it's a 3-side map. It feels a lot bigger. There are less places to get.
What the heck is going on there?
Oh, I would love to know. But all I'm going to say is, GX, if you can hear me, they're going to go B. They're going to go B. Be prepared for B.
Hubert the baguette.
Yes, Uber and Wire, please give us something normal.
Save us.
Okay, well, I don't really see the problem with trying to provide Qubit with sustenance. That is pretty reasonable. I don't think he's got the anatomy to down a baguette, which is fine. Maybe puts him at a disadvantage out here in Paris, but hey, at least Kaplan is trying to feed the guy. I think he'd like to see more Sentinels rounds, though. I think that would be very beneficial and sustaining for Qubit. Very few of those at one Sunset. I understand he's looking a bit emaciated, a bit starved. Sentinels, look, I mean, I'm going to talk about that last series of their playoff run in NA. They looked dead. They struggled to bounce back from the beating they'd suffered. Sunset looked just like that. So do they have what it takes to dig deep here and show us a great Haven?
A map that we haven't seen much of them on in Stage 2, but they have gone to this double controller comp. Aura, does he dare swing? No. Dark cover. Zekken wants to go in, though, off that recon.
All right, men at the door. Zekken bypasses them entirely and then decides to get on out, drawing a lot of attention. And now they're going to make the dive here through Garage. West side flattens Zelsis all over him like moss on a rock. No chance to recover. And the side swarming with red.
Yeah, just a Sheriff bullet penetration going through default box. Now 2 players from GX ready to face onto Zelsis. He doesn't want to take that duel right now, though. He can just take things easy, slow down.
Coming. That paranoia doesn't hit Narrate, so he can stand and be the first to the action. Not Grabinho on Flickless again, surely not. It's the Polish player alone. Zelsis waits for him to step out into the sun. Still, a mildly furrowed brow for Sen's fans. That could have gone either way.
That was an interesting little round. I mean, that's a pretty classic move on a pistol. Try to sell that B fake with your Neon who can get in, get out, pivot into the C split through Garage. Drone tags on the west side, and then he's lit up back box. Cool.
Has Zelsis shot?
That's
like,
a nice part of having the Sheriff, though, on these pistol rounds, is that you can actually shoot through that default box.
How does Grabinho put that quick 2-piece together? Dangerous as always, but Sentinels at least get their pistol. That's what they came for. Nice little pivot there into C.
So we have this gamble sack from GX that is based on this paranoia from Grabinho. If there's noise long, going to throw that out, and 3 players are ready to swing. But it seems like Sen are probably going to be dodging that unless they go for maybe a late C split again.
I don't know if Narrate liked what he saw off that recon. There was no Aldrone used on that C-long position, though, so tough to spot this out. But with the spikes being left, very much a default look for Sentinels, and they are so... I mean, I think Cloud has kind of put the fear of God in them here about turning up in random places on those eco rounds, so Sen have to be... They have to spend that much more checking these random corners, clearing really thoroughly.
Yeah, they've gone ahead and worked all of long. Completely silent. After that, drone was early, second caught, but quickly gets that shot off before going down to the classic.
No stone unturned for Sentinels on this A side of the map, and Zekken barely gets out of that one alive. Now, though, GX are going to have to play the A side retake, always difficult, with nothing board up. They do have all the breach utilities to spend, but the gamble stack does not eventuate.
Zelsis even waiting on this late little wrap through B. I have to say, it's tough for me to kind of rank where Sen are at with Haven in terms of their map pool right now. You know, map pool was something that Kaplan discussed heavily as an aspect of the game that they need to work on heading into these global events to actually get a trophy. And they played Haven twice in the second stage. It was against C9 and 2G in the regular, season part. They won both games, but just a very small sample size. So I feel it's very hard to evaluate where they're at the moment. And for GX, they've had moderate success. They're sitting at a 3-2 record in stage 2. Beat Na'Vi a couple times here. So it's really tough, I think, to try to match this up.
And I think also we've got to take this map into context of the rest of the series. What we've seen so far from GX when they get that lead, when they start to build that momentum. They look to be really good at just strangling you out of a game. On the defense side, we've not really seen anything special from them yet. No real set plays, but this is the kind of round where they should start to rear their heads. The Sentinels, of course, still have a Stinger Bulldog Outlaw in the round.
Zelsis does fully invest into getting that Vandal. Early recon, certainly going to be broken. Cloud taking the opportunity to spam through that standard A-long dark cover that Sen can use to claim this space easily.
So far, and this is small sample size of rounds, GX are a little less proactive. Again, it's a 3-site map. You're spread a little bit more thin. Losing a player on the extremity hurts a lot more than it would on Sunset, for example, where there's almost always someone else to back them up. Even like a 2-1-2 or even a 3-1-1.
Eyes are down.
Sen have maneuvered all the way back to this C side, which was vacant. Westside wants to get in backside. Will anyone actually be here in time to assist him, though? He wants to break the recon that might come in on that top left side, but it doesn't. It's just a drone, yeah.
Okay, well, they've got presence, though. You'll notice that he's been joined by Gravino. Plenty of GX players here now. They're going to be leaders. They come around the corner. Zakin, though, tracks back and then forward. Almost had the better of Ara. But the guy is a little too quick with it. Westside, backside, caught out. And Cloud, not inside. He is still making his way over. And has the unenviable task of making his way into C from defense spawn side.
So GX are able to rotate everyone into backside. Sen really slowed things down, but then eventually I do feel that kind of played to their advantage. They get a lot of clean fights. At the end there, Cloud even caught by Narrate. Lovely little kill, and is now just one away from getting that Hunter's Fury in terms of the orbs. Bonus round converted for Sen.
Standing ahead.
Yeah, it's this late recon comes through. And GX, they really, feels like they kind of try to overfight there, with that double swing coming back default, and it sends patience getting into the site that does pay off. Getting that recon thrown back sight after the drone had given them front sight.
PTSD?
That's a deep cut, John. Any knowers? Okay, so sending out pretty slow. They work slowly enough that Ara's able to get in there as well. GX maybe just not ready for that tempo.
Now on this round, GX looks like they maybe want to explore down mid, try something more proactive, which has not been the case for them so far on Haven, in contrast to the style that they had on Sunset.
I'm not surprised to see Sen waiting for a push out of mid, for example. And actually, GX more interested in trying to allot the correct number of resources to the side that they think Sen's going to land on, as opposed to trying to get early info pushes. They're not doing any of that so far. Again, the weapons don't really maybe allow for it. But they've made a gamble stack that looks unlikely to pay off for them. And honestly, that lurk wall over on the B side of the map will keep a few of them there.
This game as well, I will say it's an interesting clash of styles with the two approaches here to Neon. Westside has made his way into this backside, but should be cleaned up, yeah. It's this double controller with the Viper that has really been the trend in Americas versus the very classic approach to running Neon on Haven, where you're running double initiator with Breach and Sova. And I think a lot of people do have concerns when they see teams picking Breach on maps that aren't Sunset right now. And I do think that's valid, but GX have shown a real proficiency with that agent still, where their sequencing of utility is really effective. Their timings are usually impeccable.
Honestly,
they're certainly going to have to be if they want to win this map against Sen, who are going to be at 4.
I think the KJ choice over the Cypher is an interesting one to examine. The turret lets you usually on the attack side watch for any pushes out of Garage, and Lockdown is pretty awesome to force retake circumstances on that A side especially, which is so hard to get back into. But GX here don't really see any way to make an inroads on the map. Cloud always seems to just ferret away late in the round. No, it'll be GX perishing to the blast and hoping to hit the ground running in their second buy round.
All right, let's see if GX can finally stop this run of rounds the Sentinels have been on. Winning both the pistol and the bonus obviously gives you a crazy advantage in the series. The economy has finally gotten to a place where Aura can pick up that operator.
Okay.
We definitely highlighted that on the previous two maps, how that is really a linchpin for this GX success on defense. Him just being able to control space somewhere so they can rotate elsewhere with the rest of the players. Now it is a little tough at times when you're playing against this Viper. Having to deal with the wall does make the angles on A bit more difficult to work around.
I definitely feel like the texture of the game changes drastically when Aura has a scope weapon in hand.
All right, that trip front sight going to be broken by the shock dart. Drone in first from narrate, similar to what we've seen before, a slower approach.
Drone, then recon has been the cadence. Backside, we're just going to see some of those corners cleared, and Sentinels have seen or not seen enough.
Yeah, they want to slow things down. The rotate has been drawn very fast towards C. They obviously saw GX willing to do that on a previous round when they sent that sequence of utility on the C site. So now they're going to maneuver their way elsewhere. I think this is some really good calling from John. This B site is pretty open. Cloud wants to get in there.
Dangerous though. Yeah. Knew there'd be some utility to draw out, but Cloud overextends onto the side. It was ultimately a fake for Sen. Something that's been in their wheelhouse a lot in the past. GX though, convinced that was for real, and they get punished for it.
Wow, they have just been baited into all of these angles. Aura is absolutely going to be saving this off. Really excellent calling there from John, I feel. Just activating that same early util on C that drew all the rotates on the bonus round that they converted.
Oh,
wow,
no
he's even going to
way.
catch this kill onto Aura.
It's free, man.
But then drawing the rotates, pivoting to B, but then after they're delayed by that aftershock, they turn around. All of those GX players who were drawn out, baited out, they collect the kills, pivot to C where they've left Zelsis inserted deep. This was a really excellent round from Sen.
And obviously a decent time to make the fake plant play on B happen. Still the GX, maybe that's something that also has come up to them in VOD review, because it is something that Sen likes to mix in. Just a point of tension in this game where, for whatever reason, they are convinced that it's worthwhile committing on. And they underestimate their opponents. Big punish as a result. Cloud definitely a lot quieter in this map. Now needs to get the troops rallied as Pipson is going to dial in and see what needs to be fixed in this timeout.
What's made GX so effective on defense is their ability to call rounds where they fully disrupt the plans of the attackers. So far, that just hasn't happened.
No, they've been trying to gamble stack sides.
They've been trying to gamble on some of the eco rounds, and they've been trying to flood on the buy rounds. We saw that on the bonus. We just saw that on this round, too. They all tried to flood back C, right? And so far, that hasn't been effective. It's just resulted in John having free reign across the map to lead his team and execute the plans perfectly.
How safe is it, though, to be pushing off these sites as individuals or duos for this early info, for this disruptive potential? There's been no defensive pops, right? There's been no sort of very aggressive early round movements here for GX. In fact, they're not even working the map much for information passively.
At some point here, I would like to see them do something active towards mid. I
think we're going to get it
mix
now.
that in. And yeah, I do think they're going to do it here with this half buy that they've got going.
Now, there's no KJ turret set up to see this.
Oh, wow. So that's a recon paranoia with a stun from Aura into window. All of Sendo, they're stacked up towards this C side. Site is going to be totally free.
He's back.
Yeah, him teleporting up top while Zekin runs in so they can double face back Site, but it is not going to be held by a single GX player. It is indexed in that mid play.
Yep. I like the set play. It give a lot of map control over, allow to contain, but there's no pressure coming from C long because there's KJ util that can obviously read it as it comes.
This round is as good as done. Nice shot from Zekin. I was already
he's back.
on
Zekin's
such
back.
low HP.
Aura and Cloud don't have a lot to say about this round, I suspect. Just as likely to disappear in a puff of smoke. Set up inside Garage here, and once again, there will be a player late in the round for Sentinels trying to punish this. But no one's looking in Zelsis' direction, and yet Cloud whips on him. Pretty unconvincing stuff for GX there. Set play attempted, no result yielded.
Certainly not mad at the attempt, though. I want to see them go for plays like that.
Yeah, but how does that condition them now?
But a little insult to injury is that Zelsis, even at the end there with a kill and the death, now has a lockdown for this buy round. They have the Hunter's Fury with the lockdown to put GX on an eco again.
GX have to play ahead of that lockdown potential. They still have an op to hand, I would think. At least the option to go for one.
Maybe if Cloud is one away from his Hunter's Fury, so that's the natural counter to the lockdown if he can get an orb somewhere. This time, Sen, they want to go very fast towards A. Teleport cross from Bang, but he's caught. He's stunned.
Okay, well, Sentinels conditioned to a little bit of a slower early round from GX and don't really see the mid pop from them in the previous one, so think they can still play in that fashion.
And there's a stronger A fight from GX. I do like to see that, but this is a good response from Sen. They have gone so quickly towards this C side. Can GX flood in to support West side now?
West side Tux gets the perfect drop, and Zekken is lit inside that cage. Too easy for the Cypher, and finally West side gets himself onto the board kill-wise. John, not the timing would have hoped for, I suspect. And now Narrate, unsuccessful in trying to crack the remainder of this C-side open. Finally, Giant X get on the board on Haven.
Signs of life. I like how they played that round from start to finish. It's that A fight, very aggressive, fault line comes through, recon into lobby. It was on a round where Sen wanted to go for an A fight of their own. They are completely caught off by that breach util. And then GX recognizing that there was that fast pivot to C coming. Westside gets all the way deep towards Plat,
get 5 more, guys.
gets the cages up, allows his teammates to flood back in. That's a perfect defensive round.
A good example of how that util perfectly facilitates.
And now look, they want to get aggro towards mid again. It's that play from before, the relay bolt, paranoia, and
Narrate
the
takes his
recon.
space back though. He's there in the second Wyatt. Ara brought down. Just impales himself on his own sword by the looks of things, but there's that Hunter's Fury that comes off for GX, a big part of their early aggressive play. Zekken's got to get across the window, lucky to be alive, but could still be spammed down. Scorpino wants to push up outside of lobby. Chaotic early round, leaves Sentinels down to 2.
Yeah, Westside stayed fully committed out of garage, caught off Celsius, and now the neural theft will
buddy.
reveal these remaining 2 players. It's a 1v1. Oh, Zekken won that round looking very different. A crucial pickup for Flickless. GX, they have to convert this.
They got all the info. John can't get anything done outside of the purview of GX. They know it all. And now, those thin walls may be his undoing. Flickless wants to step up. And John doesn't have the mechanics to answer. GX up to 2 rounds. Finally, we're starting to see some of their personality from EMEA's number 2.
Surge of energy coming into this team after an absolute drought. This is the play they ran on that prior half by. This time Sen were in the region they needed them to be towards window. It's that Hunter's Fury that Cloud throws in to get the trade when Aura goes down. Hits Bang as well, brings him to half HP. And they're pushing out of A, and they're pushing out of Garage. That was that play exactly as intended.
And Aura considered,
as they drew it up.
Aura considered picking up an op a couple rounds ago. Opted for the rifle. The GX haven't really needed to play the passive line hold game. They want to brawl and do it again.
They want to fight for this A lobby. Very hard. Gravino gets the first. He gets the second even.
This is where that came from. Zelsis was cut down in the corner there, and Bang is revealed, able to take 2. That's all he's going to get. That's the best he can do to give John a shot in this round. The money starting to dwindle. It's getting a little low for Sentinels, as this would be their 3rd consecutive round they've given away to the defenders.
GX, they are a team that can just suddenly capture the pace of the game and take it over. Feels like these past 3 rounds have been faster than an entire buy round from the beginning of this first half.
John here has to keep it simple. Not surging out in that long direction. Has to make a correction here for Cloud, and he's in mid-air. IGL seals up another round for GX. And like he said after the first, 5 more to go. Well, they've managed to cut this lead in half.
5 also the number of ults that Sentinels have coming into this next 5. But hell, they've had a lot of them for a while. They haven't even had a chance to use them because GX are just sending it on them.
You see Bang is trying to find a way to play in response to this raw aggression from GX. And it kind of amounts to him cowering in a corner while his team gets mowed down, and him with trigger discipline able to take 2 and then not convert any further. It's got to be a timeout here for Sentinels.
Yeah, it was a cool position to get into, but then with Sen continuing to fight in lobby and just getting shot down by Grabinho playing down there in short.
We are getting what we asked for, though. We wanted to see GX disrupt Sentinels in these early rounds.
Yeah,
Push up, make it hard for
needed.
Sentinels to work the map passively, and then make a pivot into a site that they could divine was being less populated by defenders. They just have to keep this up now. This is good. As Sentinels are the ones that have to pivot now. They need to start expecting these early round push-ups. This is likely to slow them down, which could also work for GX if they realize they've done this level of conditioning to the attack side.
Yeah, I mean, what, 5 minutes ago, we felt like this was about to be a Sen walk in the park. They were up 6-0. Every round was so effortless.
Yeah, let me tell you.
And now they're forcing the timeout.
Cloud is reaching up to put the collar on Sentinels right now, so they better have their wits about them. 5 ults, though. It's a good number. You see a round here or there, one out purely on strength of those alone, so we'll see.
And now it looks like GX, they have a play to go down long. There's going to be a recon going in towards that seaside of spawn, fault line, relay bolt, Aura running it down, and John is just stuffed into that corner on account of the util. They know where he's going to have to reposition to.
Sentinel's obviously planning a pivot based on where that spike's been left. Zelsis needs to stay alive for this lockdown to be a factor in this round, but he has to know Westside is playing close. Wins it out. That is an important correction. A flick to the head. That downs the enemy Cypher. Now does A-side starting to crumble. Crack for Grabinho! Emerges with 2 very important kills. That is going to put GX with a shot in this round. A real one now as Aura gets close, wants to challenge it. Bang! Cannot keep up. It's too pacey. Headshot though, dink onto Aura. Doesn't slow him down for a second. Slides in. And the overdrive will claim the final frag.
Second wanted to use his own ultimate, but while activating, is just rushed down by Aura.
Yeah, he's lost it now.
Who opens the round, closes it. It starts off another early round active play. This is just what makes GX GX and such a cool team to watch. John is isolated on that seaside of the map. He goes down. And then, of course, Sen feel like we just need to accelerate into A. Also, massive credit to Grabinho, by the way. That 2-piece he had was so sick. And without that, the round is lost.
And it's crazy how frequently he is doing that. Even in these, eco scenarios.
Yeah, again, and started so slow, map 1, Grabinho, but he didn't let it get to his head. He has stepped up both Haven and Sunset.
Some part of the map, Aura has been taking liberties for the last 4 rounds in a row, and it's no coincidence that those have been defense side wins. Sen have also lost a little bit in that ult battery now. Still have a lockdown. They just have them now to get to the stage in the round where they can slowly work the map and set it up, and this won't spot Aura out. Honestly, this is an insane spot to be set up.
This is crazy. There are 2 Sentinels players right now.
John's going to die to this. Surely. John, please! Oh, he just doesn't know what hit him. Narrate there under extreme pressure as well. Zekin trying to respond, but if Aura gets out of here, this is masterful.
He can just leave. Look at the A site, by the way. There are 2 Sen players in there. How has that happened? GX were fully expecting a seaside hit.
Bro, they're not going to get to cross for free. They've got to get past Cloud, and then final boss Aura is waiting there towards mid-window.
This is so bizarre. I mean, look at Sen on the map.
Time short, bang, deep into spawn. Ends up being a 1-for-1.
They still need to get the spike to his side.
They're going to be Aura. They can't get past him. Second slides in, and he takes matters into his own hands. Spike recovered, but a pivot, a wise one, across the map will send them to C. A site they've got little info, but can sort of guess that it's bereft of defenders. Zekin has to stick this, no choice.
Caught by the trip, doesn't matter. Going to get the spike down. Now, how do Sentinels position themselves here? Lockdown thrown on default. Yeah, GX, they really don't have an opportunity to break it, and Zekin wants to take the space that it's creating.
Doesn't want to over-push there. Cam dealt with. Delsus also has to play a little bit slower.
Yeah, now GX, they have to think someone could be positioned in garage right now, surely.
They're not checking for it. No one's... Okay, Westside is watching it. Will you see the barrel? Yes, wins it out. That leaves Zekin now. Oh, God, you hate to be in this spot. Has to play long in the post plant. Tough to really spam this down. Grabinho on spike, and Zekin's not 100% sure exactly where he is. He's going to have to spray through, and he gets there. What a crucial round. The Red Bull clutch gets the Vibe Merchants on his feet, and much of Sen City in the crowd.
You've got to be joking. No one from GX can connect the shot, and Zekin sprays them all down.
Jeez, they needed to come up for air though, didn't they?
I mean, that's how this run of rounds for GX ends. They're in a 3-on-1. They got the lockdown out.
Well, they needed a bit of magic, Wyatt. A drought of it. Ever since round number 6.
Kaplan made a gesture like, I'll take it. Not how I wanted it to happen, but I'll take it.
And well, this can just be credited to the individual. That's just fine for Sen fans. Now, they're still in the Hunter's Fury. Also, if they ever get to a post plant, which has been tough, they'll have a pit. GX uncharacteristically played this round slow to start with. Bang, same sort of bait play. Onside Paranoia, but Ara's there to check if it's the real deal.
That immediate bolt thrown down so no one can try to trade. Needs to get out of the way of the drone, but is a little bit too slow.
Viper's peak here, thrown inside B. Grabino now going to be decayed down if he lingers for too long. And Senna just headed elsewhere, leaving John behind to kick this pit up. But eventually he's going to leave too.
West side on the angle. No, Celsius is coming. He saw the barrel, and now he can use that cage to get back towards Plat. Wants to reposition, but a little bit too early. No one there to help.
Really exposed himself. Really showed too much leg there, Wyatt. And Zach and Franklin was waiting for a drift at the back of the site. The cyber cage wasn't enough to obscure him.
John, low HP, Narrate wins that out.
Foot off the gas so far for Giant X. Serving this round over to Sentinels. And Cloud, the IGL needs to get into the side in the 1v3, already down to 70. It's always good for one. That much we've learned today. But digging this high-low setup out is all but impossible. A late half recovery for Sentinels. They bounce back, but it takes this man on your screen to get them there. Just a moment of magic from the youngster. Zekin saves their bacon. Whew, in that round 11. Crazy stuff so far, and much to talk about, I'm sure, heading into the half. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be back with more of this decided map after this.
One enemy remaining.
Scanning ahead.
Good recovery on the hand, baby. Good recovery.
Top of the second half of Haven about to come at you, folks. It is Giant X, the number 2 seed out of EMEA, versus Sentinels, who frankly limped into Champions this year. A lot to prove after a 4th place finish last year and then a pretty significant roster change. That saw the infusion of some younger blood in the roster. Narrate had to hit the ground running with this team. Now, every round that GX win on that defense side, it's paired with an aggressive pop, a moment of unexpected volatility from GX, and Ara is able to get in there and catch Sentinels unaware. 4 rounds on the defense side is going to have to be enough.
And that round 11 should have been a win for GX. That should have been their 5th on the board. They brought it down to that 3 versus 1 that Zekin won in miraculous fashion. And you can kind of see on the Coinbase Econ report that his report quite good on account of he's getting a lot of kills. He's doing a hell of a lot of damage.
That head-to-head against Cloud is a pretty good result, accounting for many of Cloud's 9 deaths over that first half. Someone who was frankly taking the game over on Sunset. It was like 20 and 5 at some point. It was pretty absurd. You can see the spend to damage ratio is what gives Zekin such a high econ value. And again, it's tough not to point him as the protagonist on this map. 13 kills, 7 deaths after that first half, and a disgusting, what was it, 1v3, 1v4 moment from that round 11. Keeps them with their head above the surging tides.
And now Sen, they started this map winning the pistol and then winning the bonus. That gave them that early 4-round lead and all of the momentum. GX goes without saying, but they desperately need to win this second half pistol to stay in the game.
Less of a gamble stack approach here from SEN and more just distributed heavily in that A direction. The wrinkling here is actually going to be fruitful. So they've got confirmation of at least one player pretty far into A long, and Ara has already set foot over the threshold of A.
Bang just ready to throw out that paranoia off some sound cues. Util exchanged, but no gunfire. Everyone's slowed down. Everyone's stalled out.
There's a lot of util drawn out of the defenders, Wyatt. Larry here forced to fight. Westside will get away and avoid the shock dart reprisal. All of A main is populated by attackers.
SEN at the moment have not much reason to leave, though. At this noise cut, at this time, now they do. It's that B side that could be open, garage could be open, and GX have just picked the absolute perfect moment to get in, exactly as SEN give it up.
Or SEN pick the worst moment to give it up. It really depends how you want to look at
Glass half full, half empty.
Yep.
Depends on your point of view.
Well, I think either way it's about to be spilled over the cobblestones, Wyatt.
And now Flickless does have that fault line back, so he can throw that out towards main, stall out the SEN retake.
Narray can't really drop out of heaven here. He is too low. And SEN having to play the retake up for making the right call on the side. It's not too bad. Ara with the stopping power of back truck. Deals with Zekin at least, but Zelsis is there. Narrate here from up on high. Judging the peasants, he will drop down onto the box, but makes some noise. He gets a bit of damage on Flickless, but not enough to write home about. And it's John Grabinho. 32 points of health left for the Moroccan mastermind. He needs to step up. He sees the shoulder of the Omen, but Grabinho doesn't give him enough to work with. GX, get that pistol locked up.
They needed it with absolute desperation, and they got it. Perfect timing window to get into the site. SEN were staying on A, they were staying on A, they were staying on A, and after enough noise cut, had to be concerned about that B side. The moment they leave, it's taken by GX. Flickless posts up in hell with that standard breach util, that line with the, where you can throw the fault line into spawn. And by the time SEN get in, numbers are depleted, and all Grabinho had to do was even just waste time, and they would have won that out in the 1v1 clutch. Or, of course, with the Outlaw. Always has it that second round.
And now, of course, we gamble stack. It looks like Westside and Cloud just down to Ghosts here to facilitate for their duelist. Be equipped as well as possible in the early stages. The double swing potential here as Narrate shows shoulder, but sees Ara coming. Might try and play off some of this util. And, well, the Outlaw does his job. Just flattens these under-armor targets. Westside, yes, that's nice.
And lovely little shot. That aftershock good as well to push Narrate out earlier. Fault line comes through a little bit too late, but yeah, don't think John will be getting away from this one.
Well, we call that taking responsibility for what we start. Bullload basically chunked him down to minimal amounts of health. Zelsis here will look to simply exit the round, hoping to get some value, even trade himself up. Never not shilling. You got to respect it. Also, the homage to Sufat BB, his quote-unquote boyfriend, as was discussed in the press conference. He was expressed some, regret that Wolves couldn't be present here. And I think seeing how they showed up in Toronto, many of us would feel the same.
Just going to wait out to go down to the spike explosion, unless maybe Ara does go towards that B side. Nope, just going to run towards spawn. Hold up, wait. Potential for an orb.
All right, makes a bit of noise. There it is, Zelsis. Not too shabby. Nexus around with an orb. Ara down, but the Outlaw was given over to Flickless to preserve that. So no harm, no foul, really, if you're the attack side.
We just saw some good util here from GX. Nothing unbelievable, but just the standard ways of getting players out of those angles into the open sight lines all works out.
One enemy remaining.
As clean as they needed it to be, they saved the crucial guns. And now on this bonus, we're able to buy up a rifle for Aura, Guardian for Westside. All things considered, not too bad of a bonus buy here.
Cloud actually has the Outlaw this round. The solo A main player.
GX were showing some real desire to get into that B site, but they slow things down. John forced away.
There's a Nano Swarm in the default location that would also slow them up. I'm trying to get some early util out of Sentinels. It's never a bad call.
And you would imagine the alarm bot in that spot will often be broken by a shock dart from Cloud. That's usually the standard. Zekken does spot out Aura in Garage. GX are getting a lot of map control right now, but Aura goes down to Zelsis.
Yeah, just to try and get 3 players on C. They've realized that they need to get in that B direction, and that's nice from Zekken. Grabinho's mostly been good for their first one in this series.
Yeah, this is GX taking a lot of liberties on their bonus round. Going for some individual plays to turn the tides. Cloud going to be able to plant in this default spot, but now in the 3 versus 5, what can GX do realistically?
Only Bang and Zekken susceptible to the one shot from the Outlaw right now.
And of course,
play it safe.
You know, when you're retaking on this B side, that's where this Viper Wall can come in handy as well. It's just a natural smoke for main.
Narrate takes a hit for that, tries to get him through the wall, but Flickless finds Zekken on the other side, getting in from the garage side of the map, and Zelsis will be slowed up to that effect as well, caught in the fault line. But John says no more breach util, no more breach in fact. Down Flickless, puts Sen into the player advantage, but now they're going to deal with this setup from Cloud, and Bang was the only player not set up to deal with that. Defused goes Zelsis, living dangerously and punished as Westside executes him with a pistol.
There is simply no way GX should be allowed to get away with a round win. 3 versus 5, they convert. Sen with better weapons coming into this. I mean, ambitious little spam from Narrate. Flickless is just open holding the angle. Zekken peeks out. Zelsis wasn't ready to be there for a trade. A little miscommunication.
The Viper Wall's not in play because they're trying to fight out towards mid. You can't tell me your protocols for dealing with the post plant on B aren't ironclad at this point, at this level.
I guess in a way, there's some justice that both teams win the pistol and the bonus round. So it'll come down to honest gun rounds as to who will win this game out. Oh my gosh, nice shot from Aura, putting them in position to convert here.
Light armor gets you there. I am a little nervous as a representative of the North American region, I won't lie. Aura now with the scope weapon back to hand. He's already thinned out the herd of Sentinels players. Now we'll look to take that mid.
Thrown down top mid from Bang. Zekken working his way forward, wants to close the gap with that stinger, of course. No one actually in this B site. Drone over top will confirm that.
Bang got in.
Aura wants to just draw out a little attention, a little spam, maybe find out if someone was hiding wrapped around the drone's view.
This garage spot's starting to become a little more relevant now, Wyatt. As is a commitment here by GX towards the B side of the map. Bang sees Aura coming a mile off and is able to down him. John, patient, collected. And he'll have himself a frag. Zekken now with that fast lane, trying to get in Grabinho's direction. It's a bit of wayward, ham-fisted. And Zelsis is now finally on the wrap, but this spike's headed on to B. They are going to end here. West side, though, in a safe corner. Grabinho has the line covered, and Zelsis only has a classic. This is looking terrible for Sentinels.
The Zelsis just no opportunity to upgrade that weapon. Flank from West side was perfect. Bang does a great job backside getting that first kill, and then Zekken hit a really quality relay bolt that connected onto multiple players. How many times has Grabinho got a stunned kill, by the way, in this series? It's like the 3rd time we've seen him do that.
Yep. Well, considering he only needs 1 bullet to kill someone.
Yeah, just hit him in the head. Just don't miss.
Yeah, the guy has been very resilient to any form of disruption. And GX, honestly, like a decent pivot after things start to go a little haywire at B. They don't leave the site. Just a little reposition.
I'm out of here.
Bit of spam being exchanged. Cloud, if he can get this orb, is going to have the Hunter's Fury. So GX, they want to get that C-long control, smoke it off, make sure they have that tool.
Aura with a judge here.
And the overdrive, of course.
Yep.
So can just use both of them when he pleases. After shock to break a common turret position, will do so. So that's some passive info gain that Sentinels would have had on B, now removed.
Yeah, now
Oh, no.
John has to watch it. He's giving it to him. Okay. Aura says, well, that's probably a little bit more than I expected. Ways from the fast lane in place. He's got no interest in trying to recover that weapon. Overdrive will suffice for him late in the rounds when push ultimately comes to shove.
Now, what is the move? Paranoia and Breach Util used on A to try to draw these Sen players away from the C site, where GX are intending on going.
Westside knows he's going to get some action because the alarm bot is now no longer effective inside Garage. Zekin's got to take it up himself.
And Corbino, he had that from the shadow, so he can use that paranoia on A and get right back to the pack on C. So they have 4 ready to get in that site. And they've got Westside, this late lurk through Garage. Flickless might even be a second player. Maybe Westside goes first, takes contact.
The timing here is beautiful. Westside so patient, so calculated. Emerges just as John had his back turned. Here come Giant Eggs. They are storming into the rest of the map. Looking really adaptable on this attack side.
Yeah, Giant X, they're always going to come in with some kind of cool set play around their ultimates. They've always got them. This time, it was working into C long, posting up Aura. You hate to re-clear a guy with a judge. That is miserable. But then from there, it's GX running their Omen, their Breach, over towards A long. They use the stun, they use the paranoia, they're drawing all that attention from the shadows. Grabino right back to C. They hit into that site with the Hunter's Fury. Every time GX have the ult rounds, they're always going to throw something unique at you. They're always going to have a cool set strat.
Timeout here called by Sentinels. They have the resources to have a modest buy coming into the next round, but it likely will feature some smattering of Guardians and maybe not full util. But this is about the round. This is as important as it gets for the North American squad. Can they reverse their fortunes now? Because so far they've struggled to really adapt to what GX are throwing at them. It's just a play style that they're a little unfamiliar with, as was evidenced with those 4 defense side rounds won by the EMEA squad.
I mean, they just get completely worked across the map. I mean, they absolutely bought into that fake. Second was in Garage, sure, but he's just smoked off. He can't do anything.
It's like really GX are getting a lot of what they want here. The push up into Ara's position, 3 judge pick. It being on a Killjoy of all people, which meant that Westside could actually, pull a player into Garage, further thinning the defensive setup for Sentinels. Cannot afford to lose Senti so early.
Now, Sen, they have basically fully invested into this. Not the best weaponry, not the best armor either, but they do have this Viper's Pit to just control all of that short A side. And GX, they could just try to heavily index and fighting through long if they really want to get into A late into this round. And it does require the attention of a second Sen player to stay on A. Someone needs to be looking at long. John needs to know what's going on.
Yeah, you can't play off the site now.
So Narrate has to be back A jump spotting for eternity, basically.
And I understand that Sentinels do not want to have to retake the A side of the map, but like you mentioned, it can leave them a little limited elsewhere. I mean, look at how passively Bang is holding B. Only the Killjoy util on the C side, but there's going to be early warning there, at least for Zelsis, who's not offered himself up as a free frag early. Alarmbot spotted out. They're going to accelerate into this. I don't know if the Sentinels can respond quickly enough. We're about to find out. Straight to the Nana Swarm they go. Some spray air out from Zelsis. Ara took a hit, but most of that is decay down from the Poison Orb. Westside, though, has eventually fallen. Zelsis, his spray through that smoke yields a kill.
Flickless, quite low in HP as well, but one away from the Rolling Thunder. If there's a way that he can find a kill, that could certainly be enough to convert on this 4 versus 5.
Every other Sen player also 1 orb away from ultimate. They could rip that, but Ara
look
just
at
gets
that confidence.
No how to swing into that as well. There's no response. Ara doesn't linger for long enough either way. Grabino in trouble though, getting hammered out by that molly. Flickless has to stand tall on the side. His teammate is on the other side of that smoke, so needs to ping them out.
Oh no.
Yeah, we're doing it again. Hunter's Fury.
I mean, surely Cloud doesn't repeat the Zekin from back here.
Doesn't quite have a bead drawn on the spike location.
Doesn't comes down. And also, when I said, oh no, it was because Flickless used the ult, but he died before it went off, so he lost it.
Yeah.
That is brutal.
I feel like that happened to Zekin a few rounds back. When he tried to pull out that overdrive and died.
Yeah, it did. But I mean, how it's more painful with the Rolling Thunder.
Oh yeah.
That is real rough for GX now.
6 snake bite in the corner. I think that forced.
Yeah, that forces Grabino out. Grabino out in the open. Yeah, he had a paranoia ready as well for the choke, but he just had to run out.
Not too shabby from Sentinels. That's the round they needed.
Maybe trying to make a GX-like play there for a second with Zekin pushing down mid, but not going to happen.
All the KG util over at A, so Sentinels don't have to over-invest in holding that site right now. It looks like Zelsis is going to drift off of it pretty early.
And I have a drone from Narrate that's going into A long. Is of course not going to spot anyone out, so they can definitely remain confident and just playing other sides of the map.
Celsius might be hoping for a lockdown mid-hit here to disrupt.
Yeah, and with this Zelsa's position, he's keeping the alarm bot online, and he's also in position for the lockdown if they need to retake on A. So Sen, they're just cool with playing over towards this C side. Second backside.
They might call for a narrated Hunter's Fury here from Spawn. Second, though, holding on it. Might have hit this heard this TP come in. There's Cloud spotted. Yep, Hunter's Fury going to come from the Spawn side. Gravino walks into the sight line of Second, reveals himself, even though it was John that took the kill. Now looking to anchor. This Hunter's Fury slows things up for GX, but they are committed to this site, and Second is more than happy to hear it. There's the step up from West side, and the anchors are down.
Recon broken. Sen trying to get back in while the spike is being planted.
They know he's going to be there
right now.
Shock dart, though, not enough to clear him out. Narrate is down as Cloud just finds the timing to leave that corner. The lockdown is going to give that control back to the defenders. How deep into the site can they get?
Just going to come down to spam.
That's how we have our expectations set. Yeah, Sentinels don't have a lot to disrupt util-wise.
Cloud gets that Recon back, and the fault line is up.
Zelsa's lucky to be alive as he's able to get away. Recon doesn't reveal Bang, so he goes for it again. But look at the crosshair placement for Cloud. He basically knows exactly where Bang is, and they're waiting for Zelsa's too. Every contingency accounted for GX. And an important conversion here in round number 19.
GX had a really quality second wave fight into backside. He was here with Westside, with Flickless, picking off that player towards Plat. Because initially it was Aura. He went in with one of those breach flashes, but goes down right away. Then there was a cage spawn. No one could flood, no one could help. Then they refight backside, claim the kills on the anchors. They force Sen into a bad economic spot. Look at what they've got remaining. Not very much. It's John with a hero rifle. He certainly had some heroic plays. He has gotten some pretty sick multi-kill rounds so far today.
It's time to dig deep. If you're an America's fan, Stinger Ghost, Phantom. Not the most compelling arsenal. At least this stack onto A might prove fruitful. GX have shown less of an interest in bouncing off the sides. They tend to commit once they dip their toe in. This breach util, though, is going to be something that Sen have to contend with. It's dangerous to anchor against it, Wyatt.
But they are gambled correctly. 4 players ready to go here on this site. Did GX sniff it out?
Did they see the second player there? I think they've had enough. Well, Sentinels, how long does it take for them to read this?
Yeah, they don't want any of this site. They are out of there. Now with some haste moving towards C, totally empty. Going to be able to get it for free.
Yeah, I mean, look, Zelsa's is going to hear a fair bit of this, and he'll know. He's even pushed ahead of the Viper wall on the B side of the map, so might be looking to wrap around. Full retake for Sentinels with Overdrive and a Phantom.
Despite, unfortunately, having wasted that Breach Ultimate, the Rolling Thunder, a couple rounds ago, Flickless has made a lot of progress towards getting one for the end of this game. Could be used at a pivotal moment to close this out for GX, but right now they have to win this 5-on-5 retake. They have the better weapons to do it.
So far, Westside's able to get clear of that paranoia, but Flickless was impacted. Here's the push backside. Ara, just the player you want to stem the flow of Sentinels players, and they get absolutely bloody trounced.
GX just stuffed them in the choke, fighting together, swings from all angles, Overdrive, and no value. Zekin has had no opportunities on this map to make anything happen with it.
Not this half, yeah.
Now he's played a trifecta of Neon games. His first one on Corrode was the best. But can he actually come to life at the end of this game to get Sen back in it? They're down 11-9. Sen, who we absolutely expect to be at Champions, versus a GX who we still don't know how the hell they made it here.
And honestly, the work that GX have put in over the last couple of months is really showing fruit.
No, we certainly get it now. Hunter's Fury from Cloud coming into that site, not getting any tags. GX will slow things down for but a moment. Relay Bolt, now Aura through.
Sen have lost their re-clear info, though, off this overkill. And GX don't quite have the stall for the post-plant. No controllers up for the attack side here, and yeah, that allows Bang just to peer into the mix, see what is there. West side served up. They'll stay in the site. GX more than happy to fight tooth and nail for this space they've claimed. It's going to be John looking for a timing for a swing. Again! It's these refights in the site where GX are just better.
Now it's just Bang. Has to clear Graffiti, but there's a crossfire from the drop. He gets that first up to Aura, but the adjustment isn't there. It's as you said, GX, they're so ready to fight together when Sentinels are coming in. They hit all of the shots.
They no smokes, no paranoia, nothing to give them a material edge in terms of util. It doesn't matter.
It is straight up raw aim. It's Aura getting crucial kills, besting Zekin here on this final map of the series. Champions debut versus one of the best duelists we've ever seen on the global stage. And he's outperforming him right now on Haven.
What a showing. 21 and 16. Outlaw to hand, overdrive in the back pocket. Should have been required. Match point here for Giant X. Sentinels have languished, and that's putting it nicely on this defense side.
They try to push Zekin down C. We saw that earlier from Giant X, but it just does not quite work as well for them. And now things have been slowed down. This execute ready to go off from GX. Flickless just one orb away from getting that Rolling Thunder narrate on the angle.
Gonna get a lot of action, and there's Aura once again, steps up.
A bit too much action than he hoped for. Bang is committing to the backside anchor.
Pinked out, no, he's there, he's cut down so easily, it's on second again. 2 kills will have to be enough for John and Zelsis to put it together.
West side on the lurk, isolates John. It's all on Zelsis, miles away, only has the stinger. Flickless even has the Rolling Thunder on account of the plant. This one is as good as done.
Not the auspicious opening that Sen City were hoping for as they took to the stage here in Paris. But it's much the same fashion that they'd limped out of America's playoffs with. Question marks over the map pool, question marks over the individuals, question marks over their postseason prospects. But now we have an answer, at least for now.
Up against a GX team that finished 7th, 8th in kickoff, 9th, 10th stage 1. They bring in Aura, they bring in Flickless, and they've just won their first game at Champions.
And it just turns out that Giant X are the Goliath in this parable. Sentinels completely neutralized, often disrupted, set off balance by these aggressive push-ups for Giant X on the defense side. And then on the attack side, they get to lean into Aura's dueling potential. 286 ACS, 22 for 17, with 10 first bloods.
That is an unreal stat line to put up for Aura in his debut global match. What a stunning showing from GX, who display, I think, their unique, captivating play style with all of that aggression on defense, so many cool set plays, really well timed, impeccable utility that is a nightmare to deal with for the opposition.
Getting out of this group is far from a sure thing for Sentinels now. If they're going to do it, they have to get past either this team again or Paper Rex. They find themselves in early postings to be 3rd out of 4 at best in this group. Not where they want to be, not at all. The legacy demands more from Sentinels, but so far Giant X have put in the work. No one could deny that. Going back to the well, to Tier 2, bringing players up from challenges at the end of a disastrous Stage 1. And I'll tell you what, Pipson has whipped them into shape real quick.
I'm so impressed by this GX team. These are some of Sen's best maps as well, by the way. They have an overlapping map pool, and they were able to beat them in this fashion.